Okay, well, last segment we talked a little bit about EPISD and those budget cuts that are going to be taking place. We're going to dive a little deeper now into what's going on over there at the administration building, where they got to make some really, really tough decisions.
Yeah, they've been EPISD is notoriously top heavy in their administration, and Ross Moore, whom we heard from in the previous segment, he is always a huge advocate for teachers to make sure that they don't get their positions cut before administrators get their positions cut, and a lot of these are just consolidation of things that it looks like they've just built their program, their different departments just so big over the years, and it's just not necessary. Because if you think about the fact that they're talking about getting rid of so many of them potentially, then we've been paying for a lot of people who didn't really need those jobs. I mean, EPISD is a big district.
No
and
doubt.
So if they're going to be able to run the district by doing these numbers of cuts,
Yeah.
And then
clearly
here
they could be made.
in the notes, we're facing a $5 to $20 million deficit, according to
Yes.
union leaders. First of all, that's a big gap between 5 and 20 million.
Right.
That's a lot of money
Yeah, it
between the
is.
two. That's not like, $6 or $7. I mean, we're talking about a lot of money that this could be at the upper end. And is this numbers that are updated after they shut down a bunch of those schools?
Yes.
So that
Yes.
is also more alarming to me as well. Like, we just shut down a lot of
schools.
smaller elementary schools. These are campuses that no longer have, any electric bills, I
Right.
imagine, that they're paying, none of the water bills. They're not
Mm-hmm.
paying for people to go there. So to still have almost $20 million that you have to find is a little concerning.
So
for the district.
just like with our utilities, with EP Water, with EP Electric, Texas Gas, everybody has a set budget for the year. If you don't meet that, but if you don't use all of the money in that budget, people are going to say, then we need to cut that part out.
Right.
And any big entity like that is pretty notorious for telling people, hey, you need to spend your budget.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get my department's budget cut
Right.
because you figured out a way to find some savings.
Which is probably how it got so top heavy to begin with.
Exactly.
In
Exactly.
administration.
And so now, because EPISD is such a landlocked district, and the birth rate is going down.
Right.
So we're gonna have to be making some more really tough decisions about schools that still don't have the kind of population that they need to justify staying open.
And we're talking about schools that have been around for a long time,
Right.
too. Like,
And
we're talking
then-
about really historic schools.
Exactly. And then you have to see, then those are the people that are going to lose their jobs there, of course, the teachers.
Right.
And that's why they're saying, look, we need to look to the bigger money
Sure.
that could be cut. Like, a lot of these administrators are making way more than teachers make. So let's get rid of some of that fat first before we start looking at teachers.
Right.
Lots to come from EPISD. $20 million worth, maybe,
Yee.
in the next few years.